we're going to discuss about getting married, as Africans and in the African culture. And what we're going to look at is what is that one thing that a woman can do that can cause you to say, this is the one. This is the one that I want to settle on. This is the one that I want to get married to. This is the one that I want to have my kids with. This is the one that I want to spend the rest of my life with. That's what we're going to look at. And I'm more interested in knowing the perspective of my brother here, David. As far as, what is that thing that a woman can do that can cause him to say that this is the one, and this is the one that I want to spend the rest of my life with. First of all, I want to find out how he's doing. My brother David, how you doing?
Well, I'm all right. I'm all right. I love the topic, and I think it's very interesting. Like as Africans, marriage is part of our culture. At certain age in the African setup, whether you like it or yes, you have to find a companion. So I'm glad we're gonna talk about the things that we look for in somebody that we want to settle down with. I'm very happy to share my views. You guys know, yeah, yeah.
All right. Without wasting much time, recently, if you look at in the African culture or in the context of Africa, there's been lots and lots of crazy like weddings. People spend a lot of money on weddings. Most marriages don't even last, and we've seen social media has really added that little spice, to proposals, to marriages, to weddings, and videos and stuff like that. So I mean, it's become a thing where everybody wants to do a wedding, want to have a big wedding, wants to get married to. That's why this topic really came to me. That's something I really want to talk about. At the same time, we have a lot of divorce rates. People usually don't come around to celebrate their divorces. So you may not know, but there's a lot of divorce rates as well. As much as you see all these crazy weddings and parties and crazy stuff going on, there's a lot of divorces going on behind the scenes. But people don't really talk about it because that's not really something to celebrate. So the first question that I want to ask David is that, what is that one thing? Or maybe a few things. He might have a few things. It may not just be one thing because you don't look at somebody and just judge them by just one, thing. It might be a couple of things that a person may do that will cause you to say, okay, this is the one that I want to settle with. So I want to ask David, what is his view on that?
Well, so I think as a man making a choice, I think the ultimate thing I would look for in a woman is somebody that gonna bring me peace. You
Uh-huh.
know,
What do you mean by peace? When you say peace, what do you mean?
peace is somebody that's understanding and respectful. Nothing will work without if you have somebody that's everything and then they don't understand you, they don't respect you. I think the relationship is not gonna work. So if you have somebody that brings you peace of mind, and if you have a sound mind at home, you'll be able to make a lot of reasonable decisions in life. So I think the most important thing in a relationship is finding somebody that gives you that peace of mind. Because you don't want to go home and be scared after work that you know you don't want to go to that house.
Okay, no, you say somebody that's gonna give you peace of mind. I did ask you earlier. What do you mean when you say peace of mind?
Peace of
Right.
mind.
Give me a couple of things that it could probably be scenarios or situations that can present itself that you say, well, this person gives me peace of mind. When you say peace of mind, I don't want to think that you're talking about somebody that will understand you when you go out there and mess around and they will just be quiet and say, yeah, that's okay. Is that what you're saying?
So I think marriage is a problem-solving institution. So to be able to do well in marriage, you need somebody that understands you, somebody that cooperates with you in times of the bad times. Life is ups and downs. Marriage is not gonna be all rosy. Sometimes it's not Romeo and Juliet affair. Marriage, pretty much as they would like to lie to people. Like I think people been making a lot of lies about marriage. If you get into marriage, you realize it's not that lovey-dovey thing. It's gonna always gonna be issues that you have to resolve. So having somebody that has understanding. But personally, I love people with intellectuals. That's what I love about people. How people think. I appreciate that a lot because if you're gonna live your entire life with somebody, make decisions with the person, make plans with the person, you need somebody that can understand you. When I talk about a peace of mind, I'm talking about understanding and respect. You might not be right all the time, but you need somebody that knows you and know maybe this time they can calm down for you just for this moment. But they know you're not right, but they're gonna let things go. By appropriate time, they will know how to talk to you. That is understanding somebody that understands you. But I love how people think most because everything is about how people think. Our thinking controls our entire life. So if you meet somebody that you think alike, or they are able to reason with you, that is the main thing to me that's important in marriage because if you go for beauty, beauty doesn't last forever. You know, most of the guys would like to go for every guy got their specs though. And I wouldn't tell you don't go for what you want, but most importantly, go for somebody that understands you. If you want to marry or go into marriage, I think understanding is the main thing. It's a lot of things that come into play in marriage. We have finance. It's a lot of things.
Right.
So who is gonna be making the decision at the house? In the African setup, is the man that's the head of the family. So when I talk about understanding, if you go have somebody that doesn't believe in that cultural setup that you come from, it's gonna be a failure. So we have a lot of decision like finance. Who is gonna be making decision making?
Well, okay, when you say somebody that doesn't come from the cultural setup that you come from, so you mean you have to marry somebody that comes from the same tribe as you?
No, the person will just have to understand you that this is what you believe in. Because you cannot go marry a Muslim and tell the Muslim not to go pray the 5 times they pray or not or have issues with that. You necessarily don't have to be a Muslim or you don't have to be African to marry African. But you should know Africans have some traits and some culture and some values that if you're not willing to understand or accept those things, don't go marry that person. Because if you go marry African and then the African man wants to be the head of the family, they want to be the breadwinner. But we know out here in America, things are a little bit different. Responsibilities and decision making is shared.
Right.
But in the African home, we grew up with our dads. They make decisions with our moms, but the dad is the head of the family. So if you're as African or as let me put it that way. If you're gonna go marry somebody and the person doesn't understand the whole the things, the principles, and the values you believe in, I think it's gonna be a failure. So but other people will like
you know. So you know the problem that I'm having here, right? You giving me the vibe, right? As in, you want somebody that will always, right, say yes, sir, to whatever that you try to do, whatever that you say. Somebody that will understand you, right? That whatever that you try to say, whatever that you try to do, somebody who will not have any opinion about that, somebody who will always say, yes, I agree. Somebody who will always say, yes, sir, let's do this. Somebody who will always say yes, and not somebody who will have, a divergent view of things. Somebody who's highly opinionated and wants to do things, how they believe in, right? And the things they know, because who takes up somebody who's an intellectual, right? Intellectual, that means that could be somebody who's educated and have a career, and they know some things, right? So when some situations, comes up, and that person knows this, and they think this is how we should do it, this is how we should approach this situation. You do something, and they feel like, no, this shouldn't have happened, and they have, a varying opinion about that thing. Is this something that you will subscribe to?
Yeah, I don't think marriage is master-servant situation, but we have unity in diversity. We can disagree to agree. In marriage, I think it's a sharing institution. Like whoever you decide to marry, since we guys will be living life together, I don't think it's good for one person to make all the decisions. When I say understanding, it's like we have core principles in life. In life, if you want to be happy, it deals with values, and when you want to respect, it deals with objectives. So everybody have their own principles in life. It's not about you making all the decision or somebody having a different view. Well, it's more beautiful when you guys have opposing views,
right?
But then can come together. It's just like the American system. We have different people coming here with different cultures, come together, making the American country very beautiful. But you cannot go have somebody that have a radical view, a sharp radical view towards your values, your core values, and your morals. That will not work because
how long do you think you're supposed to, live with somebody, how long do you think that would take to really know the person, right? To know their views about life, to know their perspective on things, to know that how they react to situations before you actually settle down?
Well, human beings are very unpredictable, and I think there's no time frame you can ever know somebody totally. Because if you're trying to know somebody, because human beings are unpredictable, you'll be surprised after 10 years you realize you didn't believe all the things she said yes, 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 yes to. Sometimes people have agenda in life, right? Somebody at certain age wants to get married, they meet you, and then you fit into the picture. So at that moment, they just how do they say it?
Compromise on their values, right?
Yeah. So
For the time being.
they're patronizing you.
Okay.
You understand? After 10 years, you realize they don't believe in your Christian values, your Muslim values, your culture, and everything, because now they achieved their aim already. So I think there's no time frame to know people, but there are the basic things that you will see among people or around somebody that you'll be able to tell this person I can live with or I cannot live with. I don't think it should take you that long, but everybody is different. It depends. Some people, because of their past experience, would like to take a longer time to get to know a woman or a guy before they get into serious relationship with or marriage with. Some people too believe in they trust you until you give them a reason not to trust you. Yeah, but for me, personally, if if you want if you really want to marry somebody, I think you should take your time and know the person though. But
take your time. That's what I try to find out. Take your time. How long?
Well, at least a year.
Okay.
At least for the minimum.
I can go with that. Okay.
At a minimum a year, because it's when you having a relationship with somebody that you don't live together is different from when you actually live with someone. That's when you get to know the real them.
Okay.
Because we are all different. We all have different backgrounds. Even with your own siblings, you are different. So to be able to know somebody entirely, you cannot. But at least to know the things that they do that you can accept in their life. No, I think it will take you at least a year.
A year.
Yeah. Okay. I see people getting married from Facebook. They see people on Facebook the next day or the 3 months time they have a big wedding, and then in America too, divorce is $100. So people 6 months time they find people on Facebook. They're very happy. They're very happy couples. Another 6 months time they will be in court. But here divorce is not a big deal. They go there. Sometimes when they have assets and stuff, it becomes a big deal.
It becomes a big deal.
Yeah.
When there are kids involved, it's not easy like that.
Yeah.
Right.
But mostly, it's not like it's the African way is more difficult, where
where you have to see all the family
gonna
and
sit down,
do the customs and
dialogue, and even you, the one married, you are not the one that going to decide. I'm divorcing today.
Right.
Yeah. So so in America, I think things happen real quick here, and social media has a lot of impact on marriage.
Right.
I think, which is not good, because you cannot be looking at what people do on social media is fake life. Everybody brings their success on social media.
Nobody brings their failures.
The failures. So when people see all these things, you see somebody having a big wedding, and then you forcing your man who doesn't have the same resource to go do the same thing for you. They go for loans. It's annoying in the African community, because mostly the African community is not doing well like that. But when it comes to social activities, festivals like marriage or ceremonies like marriage, they can come together and bring money together and have a big wedding. But we don't have the big stores like the Chinese people here. A small African market and African business you see around. But the Asians, the Arabs, they own business. Them too, they pull resources together. So I think the institution of marriage have a lot of impact on Africans. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question that I wanted to ask, right, is having to do with, you met somebody who you think this person is good, but maybe they may have some differences as far as the customs and the things that you mentioned earlier, that these are the things that can cause you to say this is the person. They have understanding. They may have different understandings of life based on how they were raised and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think, as an adult, right, it is worth it? First of all, do you think, can you actually change the person, right, to come to believe the things you believe in?
No.
To come to have that understanding like how you want it?
It's a lie. You can't change anybody in life. And when people telling you they change for you, they are lying. They're just trying to suit you at the moment. don't change anybody to be in relationship or to marry somebody because no, how you see them, that's how they're gonna be. If you don't like it like that, don't marry them. Don't be in relationship with them. As you see people, nobody will change for you. At the moment,
Haven't you heard of the thing that the most constant thing about life is change?
not human beings, things around us do change. But
People don't change their personality.
no,
People don't change their behaviors.
we change to make things comfortable to us, the situation where we want to be.
Okay.
But once we at where we want to be, we come back to ourselves.
Okay.
So somebody trying to marry you might display all the qualities. Usually, if you like to be observant, it's better than when you are more vocal in relationship. You know, you observe people, you know who they actually are. You will find a lot. But if you wanna tell them, I need a woman that's this, I need a guy that's this, that they'll portray that person to you, until you get married to them, and 10 years time you realize that was the goal by that time, because in the African setup, between the ages of 30 and 40, all the African youth, everybody rushing to marry between those ages. So if you are not careful, people will package themselves and sell it to you. Meanwhile, I hope you understand packaging. They will package themselves and sell it to you like the same, like they advertise themselves to you. The same, the criteria you put there, that will be them for you. But then you have to be smart enough. Marriage is for matured people. If you know you don't have time, if you don't want nonsense, don't go marry. If you're too smart, don't go marry, because you have to compromise a lot in marriage. You know?
Compromise.
Yeah. All your values, the things you believe in, you cannot find anybody that have the expectation.
Exactly the same values and beliefs.
100%. You will not find anybody. God will have to create a new person for you. Apart from that, so it's a lot of maturity, and you have to compromise a lot. If you want to win, marriage is not good for you, because there will be a lot of times that your partner might be right, but if you think you're the head of the family, so we're going to go make that a poor financial decision to come affect you and your kids and the entire family 5 years to come. Yeah, so I think marriage needs a lot of maturity and patience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think it's not worth it? Because as you're saying, you're changing somebody. You can never find somebody that has the same beliefs and values as yourself. So if you meet somebody, they have different values, but as they see you, they want to compromise, and they show you that they're willing to compromise. They're willing to change some of their values for you. Now you're telling me that you cannot change anybody. So how does somebody win?
Well, you cannot change the person. You just have to accept the people as they are, as you see them. If you think you don't like them as they are, don't force yourself. You can't force love. So if you see people and you don't like stuff about them, you can talk to them. And sometimes there are certain things, qualities with us that we can easily let go. But some other attributes, it's hard. It's innate. Somebody that's been living certain lifestyle for a long time, it's not. If you meet somebody who's a smoker, right? And then you don't like smoking, but the person promise you they stop smoking because they know you don't like smoking, and you go marry them. That's a lie, because it's a habit. It will come back, and it doesn't stop that quick. It takes time.
Right.
When people are willing to go certain trend, some people might put in the effort, but mostly a lot of people will resort back to who they were. So I don't believe in that change. Don't go marry nobody that they will change in the future for you. Nobody's gonna change for you. Sometimes you fit the bill at the moment, you know. So even if it was me, I'll marry you too. If the change that I want, and Africans, the problem is we put timeline on marriage. The ages from 25 to 40, all Africans are rushing to marry or something.
I mean, I think that that's overrated. People say that a lot, but I think the issue here is that Africans in our context, we're not used to. Maybe our forefathers were, you know, and our grandparents were, but as the young people, we're not used to getting married 3, 4, 5 times. You know, in the Western world, it's very common that someone will get married, they divorce, they get married again, they divorce, they get married again, they divorce, right? So people want to get it right just the one time, and I think that may be the problem. So sometimes when they wait till they find out one person, and sometimes waiting, people consider it as waiting too long, and you're getting old, and you may not find somebody because they're waiting to have their kids by that one person, and a lot of times they don't even have kids. They're waiting to find that one person to have that kids with. You know, and that's when the timeline comes in there, because a woman's anatomy is different as far as having kids, and that's how people look at it. That's what I think. I mean, it could be different, but that's what my own perspective of that. That's where the timeline comes in, because we're not used to. Just imagine you do this big ass wedding, spend all this money, everybody should know this your husband. Within 5 years, you guys are divorced, and you're gonna go get married to another person and do another wedding. We're not used to that in the African culture, but in the Western world, that's pretty common. Where people get married 3, 4, 5 times, they move from one state to the other in the United States to get married to this one person. They take all their kids to meet this one person. They have kids. It's a pretty common culture here, right? Where people, this person has 2 kids, 1 or 3, they merge their family, they divorce, they move on to in life, meet another person with their kids, they merge it together. It's a pretty common culture, but in the African culture, it's not very common. That's where the timeline comes. People want to do it. They want to get it right the first time. This is the one person they want to have. Maybe it should change going forward. Maybe some women should be open to having kids, at a very young age, instead of just waiting for that one person to get married.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't believe in that timeline, and people should sit there and I think women, not just women, us all. If you think for now, I'll dwell on finances. If you think financially you're doing good and you can't find the person that you want, or if you see somebody that you like, some of the qualities you like, you guys can agree to have a kid.
There was a pastor, Pastor Otabel, recently had a sermon in the church. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to see that video, where he talked about sometimes some families prevent some young men or even women that they're not settled enough to want to get married, that they should wait until the African context, especially if you live back home, because the Africans who live in the diaspora, that's only about less than 5% of Africans who live in the diaspora. Majority of people live back home in Africa, and there it's not easy as a young person. You finish school to get a job and to start life. It's not that easy. You understand it? So that people should not wait. That once you're there, you meet somebody that you think you're compatible with this person, you love that person, you guys love each other, just go ahead and get married to the person. The future will take care of itself. But in the household, when you go to get married to somebody, they'll ask you, what job do you do as a young man? Can you take care of this woman? That's usually the culture from way back, right? Where a man was the head of the family, where he's supposed to go to farm and work and bring food to the house for the woman and the kids, right? But things have changed. Do you think people should more side with what Pastor Otabel is saying, or that old phenomenon of waiting till you have a career, waiting till you have you own a house or you have your own place that you live in before you settle with a woman?
So I would say there's no perfect time for marriage, and then also you should be careful with finances, because no marriage will last with poor finances. If there's hunger at the house, everybody's gonna be angry, and then the anger gonna lead to a lot of things. So I don't think there's a perfect time for marriage. You see somebody, the two of you have agreement and likes each other or love each other, you guys can proceed to go ahead and marry, have kids as early as you can, because life expectancy, I think, for black people or Africans, let's put it at 70. If it's 70 and then you start having kids by the age of 30, how long, by the time you are 60 years old, that's when your kids will be around the age of 30, that they're in the African context, they are matured enough for you to be having this plans with them too. And then you left with 10 years to die. So if you do the mathematics, it's not good for you to wait too long. If you want to live that life that way, if you calculate things, you cannot be having you be 50 years, 60 years, and your kids are 2-year-old, 1-year-old. What are you gonna discuss with them? If you have a business idea, like if you know about generational wealth, you created something that you want to leave behind for your kids, and now the kids are 6 months, 2 years old, and that's not good. So I think there's no perfect time for marriage. If you see somebody you think, and there's no guarantee no marriage will last.
Right.
Even if you find a perfect person in your head that you think the marriage might last shorter than the one that maybe you should have given it a chance.
I mean, quitting marriage and divorce, that's a decision. Some people may not be going through the best situations, but they choose to stay in there. It happens.
Well,
so you might think that it's lasting, but they have just made that decision to stay in there.
That's what we call marriage, though, because it's not a perfect situation that you're gonna go be in. They lie to young people, making them feel, especially I think the young women, making them feel marriage is gonna be sweet. The guy will come home here, darling, daddy, this.
Like they
No,
say
no.
in a Nollywood movie, huh?
It doesn't happen like that. The guy will come back from work, he's tired and angry, and then the kids doing daddy is gonna annoy him. So the reality is different from the stories, because when he gets home from work, he's tired, and maybe the woman is tired too, and then now everybody is a little bit stressed.
No, so when you say that, people will say you still have that, perspective of back then, where you're talking about, what about the woman getting home and they coming from work and they're tired too?
Yeah,
But
I
you never
said,
mentioned that. You said the guy will get home, he's
no,
tired.
I said the woman might be tired too, because now you go to the house and then I don't know. Some people believe in delusions, and I don't believe in those things. If you are practical, you should know things in life is never rosy. It depends your people lifestyle though, but mostly life is with problems. So the marriage to me is the same way too. That thing they make people believe, that fantasy you're gonna go marry when you marry. You know, when people are kids, they marry and in their head they're gonna marry, they have a nice home, their kids. It's not gonna work like that for anybody, everybody. Some people will marry and live in apartments, some people will marry and they live in a house, some people even live in a shelter. So all these situations comes in a marriage, which is different from the fantasies that when you were a kid you were made to believe. Well, people are gonna be realistic. Marriage is not the lovey-dovey thing. It's problem solving institution. If you don't wanna work things with people, you don't wanna do teamwork, don't go in there. Because like I'm telling you, the lady out here in diaspora in America, the women go to work too. In Africa, women go to work, but pretty
Right.
much here is the same. Like we don't do head of household. You might be the head of the house, but that's just by a ceremony or something.
Uh-huh.
We share bills and everything here.
Right.
So she's tired too. She's stressed too. You are stressed too. So that's when the compatibility come in. You don't find somebody that understands you, that culture and everything. All these things counts a lot, because culturally everybody is trained different way. So usually somebody that is not even from your culture but willing to understand you and know you different, but this is how you are. Things will work that way. Yeah, but not the smooth thinking that people think marriage is gonna be. Marriage is not like that. They should stop. If you don't want to marry, because I'm telling you the truth, don't marry. If you go marry, it's not gonna be love. Mostly, relationship like boyfriend girlfriend is the same as marriage. We just formalize it. The formality, go see family to us
Right.
African.
But people always say that sometimes when it's just boyfriend and girlfriend, things seems to work out. There seems to be a good understanding. But the moment there's that little thing over it that is married, it tends to something completely different.
So when it's boyfriend and girlfriend, the expectation is not too much, and then people have liberty to do their stuff, you know. But the moment they put that title marriage on it, then people expectation change.
Okay.
The guy that was going out with his friends and you come to his house, he tells you, "Oh, I'm in the club with my friends. I'll be home." You don't get angry. The woman that was going on vacation with her friends and you don't get angry. The moment you put that title marriage, or you're gonna go to the club with your friends and what am I supposed to do? Sit there at the house and wait for you or what? So you're not going anywhere. We were staying here. If you're going, we're going.
Right.
You understand? When it comes to marriage, it's we. But when it's boyfriend, girlfriend, it's you. So, but that's just the only difference. And then I guess people are right. But you're gonna be matured. You grow old, and just having a family is a beautiful idea. You know, you cannot be out there and then moving from this place to that place. But if that makes you happy, keep doing it. But if you're interested in marriage, I'm just telling you, it's a good thing. But it's not like how people are made to believe. Marriage is not that lovely thing. It's not Romeo and Juliet thing. It will not happen. If your marriage is like Romeo and Juliet, one of you is lying to the other person. Most definitely that means one person is a player. Is playing the game very very well.
That's what you think.
That's what I think. Because how on earth are you gonna be able to have a perfect relationship with somebody? Not even your siblings can you have a perfect relationship with. And then you go to the house, everything is clean. She never talks about anything. The man is always on time at home. He never looks. You never see him like any girl's picture on social media. And the small things that comes in marriage, they will always be there. So if you don't like that, I think that's what marriage is. The petty issues. Everybody have their own habits. You like to be organized and OCD. and then that person is a pretty relaxed person, laid back person. But then you guys find yourself to like each other, decide to marry. Just that two habits. You like to keep things organized. You have OCD, and that person is a laid back person. He just want to leave his shoes somewhere when it's comfortable. He will pick up from there. But then you're gonna be damn. You will go, how long do I have to tell you when you get off from work? Don't put your shoes here. You know, or then
Just those little things.
yeah. So marriage comes with a lot of side attractions, you know. But the most beautiful thing is you're gonna have your kids, and then the same way we Africans. That's why we're talking this way. That's how we grew up, and we hope to repopulate or create what we're part of.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what the American system. No, people might not agree with my views, but I'm talking from the African perspective.
Okay.
We